What's up? This is Jordan Gray from Half Lit and Dope Living TV.
Yo, this is Tony Terry, and you're watching Dope Living TV.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Jason Weaver, and whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
What's up? We watching Dope Living TV. What you watching?
Yo, welcome to Dope Living TV. Dope Living TV. Dope Living TV. We got it all. Come and see. Yeah. Let's see. Dope Living TV. Dope Living TV. Yeah. Check us out. Come and see.
Hey, what up? It's your boy Greg Graves, Dope Living TV Live. Let's start off by saying,
what's going on? This is Steve with Dope Living TV Live. The views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live show are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. And if you don't like it, get your own damn
show.
Hey, bro, real quick, I want to say something. Man, if we put Chris on some of them glasses, man, wouldn't he look just like Marvin Sapp? Don't he look like Marvin Sapp, man?
That's funny, man. You said he looked like Marvin Sapp. That's some funny shit, dude. Okay. I like that. Well, look, let me start this off, man. Tonight we got, I want everybody to settle down, settle in, because the guest that we have tonight, man, this guy's done so much. He's a stand-up comedian. He's been making audiences laugh for years. He's an actor. He's a filmmaker, man. He's a writer, and here's it's not funny, but here's the other part. He's a Golden Gloves boxing champ. All right. So if you get you're one of them people that got a big mouth, and you got this guy with him, that's the guy you want to have with you. Got your back, right.
Or if you're at one of his shows, I just say that. Hey, I'll say that comment to when he come on.
Save it. But before he was throwing punchlines, he was throwing punches. I'll put that in there.
I'll say that.
Punches. Yeah, he worked alongside some of the biggest names in comedy, man. He's been in Hollywood. It's just he's done so much. So we're gonna talk comedy, man. We're gonna talk about his career, highs, lows, the challenges, and probably hear a few stories you probably never heard before, because this is Dope Living TV Live. We do things different, all right? And so everybody, let's welcome our guest, Dannon Green, all right? What's going on, my brother?
Brothers, what's happening with y'all, man?
Yeah,
what's going
man.
on, Dannon Green?
Man, thank y'all for having me.
Thank you for coming. I want to start off
by
saying this. We do not do interviews.
Right.
We start as strangers and we finish as friends.
Shout out to Katina Fields. That's my girl right there.
Shout out to
Okay,
Tina.
well, yeah, I'm telling she's a great person, a great publicist, and she's been following my career since she's been in LA, and we've got a mutual friend and one of her clients, Buddy Lewis, who's my frat brother as well. So we just, one thing led to another, and I said, hey, I got so much going on, and she's like, you know what, I want to help you. So she got me in contact with you gentlemen.
Man, look, and your boy is actually from our hometown. We live in different parts of the country, but we're all from Gary, Indiana. So Buddy Lewis is from
Gary?
Indiana.
Yeah. Do y'all live there now?
No.
Yeah. Okay. You got free. I got you. Cool. There you go. Hey man, let me tell you. I did a show in Gary, Indiana years ago, right? I did it at the baseball stadium, that club that was inside you know which one I'm talking about, right?
Diamond Center.
Yes, inside of
the Diamond Center.
Yeah, so it was packed, man. They was rowdy up in there, man. And I said, hey, do y'all know if you go 45 minutes that way, you free? Because it was Chicago. They started laughing. They just started dying.
Hey, man, but, sometimes that's the mentality they have, when you got in cities like Gary. Being free is a good way to be, Fiddler.
But you know what, man? Hey, but no disrespect to Gary, man, because y'all gave us the Jacksons, and if it wasn't for the industry, steel mills and stuff going down, people wouldn't be able to say nothing about y'all. So, hey, respect.
For real. I like that hat.
I'll say one thing, too.
What you
Yeah, I
got?
like the hat. But your boy used to play basketball in Gary.
Who?
OP.
Olin Polynese? Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
he played for. We had a semi-league team, CBA. He played for the Gary Steelheads in 2003.
So did you play? What year was you playing CBA ball?
Well, I didn't play. I used to work up there doing a little broadcasting.
Okay, because I did my college work, my undergrad in Iowa, and it was the Quad City Thunder. So they had remember, they had a little CBA team. It was tough, man.
Yeah.
That CBA didn't make it that long, but they did their thing, all right, for real.
They did their thing.
Let's get to Dannon Green, though, man. First of all, thank you for coming to the show, hanging out with us, man. And we mentioned your hat, man, but you worn so many hats. You're a comedian, you're an actor, you're a filmmaker, you're a writer. Which one is real to you? Which one feels like the real Dannon Green?
So let me just give you a little backstory on me. I grew up in Philly. I'm a Philly boy. I'm from a place called the Hilltop, West Philadelphia. About 6 blocks away from Overbrook High School. So that's where Will got his name of his production company. Because I went to the school, I went to the Beaver Junior High School. I went to Dobbins, actually, where Bo Kimball and Hank Gathers went.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, but I went to college. I actually wanted to be a businessman, man. I went to college and did my undergrad in a small school in Iowa and got my master's in computer animation at Ohio State. I went to I'm a Buckeye. So
Buckeyes.
Right. So I was mostly in the educational part, but I was always a character, always had a mouth, you know what I mean? And it was my last year in grad school where I just one day people kept saying I was funny, so I went and did like an open mic. I don't know why I did it. I had just graduated. I already got my master's. I was job hunting. So I was like, you know what, man? You know how it is. You took care of all your business. I got time off. They say you funny. I went on, did this open mic. First time ever on stage. Out of 8 comedians, they picked me second for being the funniest. And I had never been on stage before. And then I entered a competition in Columbus. That was in Columbus, Ohio. Then I entered this other contest in Columbus, funniest person in Ohio. And it was a 6-week competition. And I won it.
Wow.
And people were like, yeah, I won it. Like literally, and people, so these 2 white women came to me and they go, hey, you know why people kept picking you every week? And I was like, because you had to pick the comics that you want to advance. And I said, well, why? They said, because every week, man, you had a new story. Everybody just kept wanting to hear what you got to say, and that's how it started,
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I love doing stand-up, man. I love people, man. I'm a different type of dude. I love people, but I love stand-up and I love acting. And I got into the writing, so it's hard for me to pick. Stand-up is my love. I love acting second, writing second and third. That's how I would look at it.
So where's boxing?
Huh?
Where's boxing?
Back there, man.
Here's the boxing story. I started boxing at 14 for a gym called the Executioners out of Philadelphia, West Philly. And so I started boxing there, and then I had 3 fights. And in Philly, I was 1 and 2. Then I lost my mom at a young age. So I had to move out of Philly and move up north to New Hampshire. I stayed on the East Coast, New Hampshire. I was between Philly, New Hampshire, and Maryland. So anyway, I stopped boxing for a number of years. I was a good fighter. I came in second in the Junior Olympics, my first tournament. So what happened was, in 1987, you guys have heard of Michael Nunn, right?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. So I was boxing out of a gym out of Davenport, Iowa. I was just training, and then one day I go into the gym and there's cameras and lights everywhere. And what happened was Michael Nunn was coming back for a fight in Davenport. He was 4 fights before he beat Frank Tate before the title. So they were like, they needed people to spar with him because just to keep him sharp. He had did all this heavy sparring in LA. So they go, I'm southpaw. So they said, Green, you want to work with Nunn? And I was like, I couldn't say no. I didn't want to say yes, but I didn't want to say no, And I said, yeah, I work with them because they're southpaw. I said, cool. So Joe Goosen and them, who I still know to this day, I got in the ring and I worked with Mike for like 2 days, 3 days. and everybody that was there in town was like, "Damn, you good?" Because I was just a college kid in town. You know what I mean? So I took it. So I decided to see what I would do with it, and I got back in there, and I ran off 12 straight wins. I ran off 2 Golden Glove tournaments in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, you surgical with it, huh?
And then I was going to turn pro. So what happened was I got invited to turn pro. I got 2 entities interested in signing me. And the funny story is I got invited down to Palmer Park, Maryland, to Sugar Ray Leonard's gym. And so I sparred 2 of Ray's sparring partners, this guy named Bird and this dude named Mike. And man, I ain't gonna lie, the first day they was trying to beat my ass. They was trying to get me up out of there, right? so I got through the first day of sparring, and then what happened was I went home, and when I was with my uncle was like, I said, "What do you think?" He said, "Well," and I was the first day I ain't gonna lie, I was nervous. You know what I mean? You're nervous. You're going into a gym, and anybody know about boxing? When you are a visiting boxer into the gym, you are boxing their best dudes. You are not. They are making a statement. So my uncle and I went home. We strategized what I should do the next day. Start a little slower, keep my hands down, because I still kind of had the amateur style, like trying to get everything off. And the next day I came back and I did a whole lot better with them. So we went to Pepe Carrera and one of the other trainers, and my uncle said, "What do you think about him?" And they said, "We like him, but we can't train him right now because Ray's about to come back into the gym for the Terry Norris fight." And then, so when I was driving back to Columbus from Maryland, because my family lives in Maryland at the time, I was driving back and I was like, "Man, do you want to give up 6 years of college straight to become a pro fighter?" And I was like, I didn't have it. I didn't have the dog in me like that to want to do that every single day, because you got to be a dog to do that every day. And I said, "Nah." So I didn't turn pro, but I still work out. I still train and keep myself sharp.
I mean, but to be a Golden Gloves champ, you maybe didn't have a big dog in you, but you had some Chihuahua. You had some Chihuahua in you.
Well, you know what it was. I had good pop on my punch. I had very good boxing skills. Philadelphia prepares you for fighting. You know what I mean? And what really helped me too was I had good speed. Like my trainer in Columbus was a guy named Vonzel Johnson. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He was a light heavyweight contender. He only lost 2 fights in his whole career, Matthew Saad Muhammad and Michael Spinks. He was like 25-2, and he was my trainer. He's still living today. And we was talking, and he was like, he told me, he said, "Man, I hated that you moved to California," because he said, "I really wanted to train you, man. I think we could have done some things together." Because I had good skills, man.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
I got a question. How you not gonna tell me you're gonna be on Me and My People's podcast, then?
Who that? Oh, Chris! I didn't even know, man. Oh. Hey, y'all, this is my guy right here. Chris, I still didn't recognize you. It's because his names are so small. Hey, man, hey, guys, this is my dude right here. And man, had my back. I went to Vegas, had a show out there, man. Looked out for me in Vegas, but he jumps on my lives all the time. Chris, what's up with you, champ?
What's going down, man? Yeah, Greg and Steve, my people, man.
Okay.
We've been doing this for like 5 years.
Oh man, I didn't know that, man. Well, I appreciate y'all having me on here, man.
Oh, no,
Don't be strangers.
Hey man, Katina's trying to ask these questions. Okay, I'm gonna let her do that though. All right, but anyway,
go ahead.
How'd you transition from boxing to acting?
So
that was one of my questions anyway, but I'm gonna let Katina have that one.
Okay, so what happened was after I decided not to turn pro, I had to finish my last thesis project at Ohio State. So I produced. I'm a little bit about my background. I'm the first African American to get an undergraduate degree and a master's in the field of computer animation. I went to the first school that ever offered it. I was Ohio State's first minority, African American to be accepted into their program, and I was the first to graduate. It's all documented. I got my letters and all of that. So I really wanted to, like I said, be a businessman, get into animation. But then what happened was when I was job hunting, my brother at the time was living in Long Beach, California. So he was like, "Man, you looking for jobs?" And they all out here because back in the 90s, animation was big all on the West Coast. So So I moved out to LA, but I had just started doing a little bit of that stand-up in Columbus. And here's a funny, man, I'm gonna tell you how fate works, man. So the girl I was seeing this chick in Columbus. So she came out to LA. I met with some of her friends, and we were all having dinner. And then we was having dinner with a lady named Mary Major Black, who was big with BET at the time. I didn't know. Yep. And so we're having dinner. And she said, "Well, Danny, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm trying to get into animation out here. I'm applying." I said, "And I'm dibbling a little bit in the comedy. I kind of like the comedy scene." And she goes, "Oh, do you?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "You can't make this shit up." You know what I mean? Like, what's about to tell you? She goes, "Well, the guy behind you at the table behind you." So I looked and I go, "Yeah." She goes, "He owns the only black comedy club in the country." It was the Comedy Act Theater. Michael Williams, the owner of the club.
Michael Williams, yes.
Was at the same restaurant that I was eating at. Wow. So I got up and I went over to him. I said, "Excuse me, sir. I heard you own a comedy club in town." I said, "I'm new in town. Just got out here from the East Coast. Would love to come into your club." So he said, "Okay, come on down." And he took a liking to me. And from then he allowed me to be the host of the whole amateur show, the first part of the amateur show at the Comedy Act Theater. And from there, that's how it all happened, man.
That's what's up.
That's wild.
That's you.
Hey,
yeah, Michael Williams. I remember back in
yeah. You can't make it up. I mean, it's crazy too because he just happened to be there. Because when I moved to LA in '92, 2 months later, they had the worst riots in the history of America. You know what I mean? So I happened to meet him right before all that went down. You know what I'm saying? And yeah.
That's what's up, dude.
Yeah.
So, as you want to say something, Chris?
No, I was going to ask him to go back a little bit about when he was in Philly and how he had to, step. Well, I'm just saying this because I know Dannon's story. We talk about it all the time about what you and your brother before he moved out to Long Beach.
Right.
And what happened in that situation.
Right. Well, so anyway, my background, I'm a foster kid. So I was raised in a foster family, great family. That's the only family I knew, you know what I'm saying? And so when I said my mom died, it was my foster mother that died. She died when I was 15. So I never knew my mom. I've been on my own since 17. So what happened was my brother went and he was taking care of me. And from 15 to 17. And so what happened was one day, when I was in Maryland, I finished my last year of high school in Maryland. I went to a school called Eleanor Roosevelt. I actually graduated high school with Martin Lawrence, right?
Right.
So I came home one day, and there was a U-Haul truck outside, and my brother was moving furniture. I'm like, "Damn, where we moving to?" I done went to 4 high schools now, And he was like, "Yo, we ain't moving nowhere, man." He said, "I'm moving back to Philly. You staying here?" And I'm like, who gonna take care of me? He like, "You're gonna be all right." Gave me $40 and he broke camp, So it was a heavy moment. I tell the story, you 17 and you left in a 2-bedroom apartment with a bed, a couch, and a desk. And I won't lie, I cried. I told the story, I cried hard for like about 10 minutes. Like, just like not knowing what to do. And then I don't want to sound dramatic, but it's exactly what I said. I just got up. I wiped my eyes off. I looked to the heavens. I said, "Man, fuck this. We're going to do this." That's exactly what I said. And I never looked back.
And you did.
And the only reason I like Dannon telling that story because, it's a lot of, one, foster children out here, and 2, a lot of kids that get left on their own. And that's inspiration to a lot of young people out there. So I love it when Dannon tell that story.
I appreciate it.
It's true testimony that I don't care what background you have, what kind of situation you were in. If you believe in your craft, you believe in what you can do anything.
Go ahead, brother.
What I love, Greg, like yesterday's guest, do we have to notice how far $40 will take us?
$40. The lady yesterday, the guest yesterday had $40.
$40,
yeah.
And went all the way to be on American Idol.
Right.
I mean, $40 in your dream and your passion, and when you gotta do something. It's plain and simple.
Well,
When you
yeah.
just got to, when it's just time, and that's when we have strength that we ain't never seen.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's in my case, I had just graduated high school. My family really didn't know what I was going to do. I already had applied to college. So my brother, when he left me, I was a track student, so I could have gotten a partial scholarship to go to Eastern Michigan and Ypsilanti. They were looking at me for track, but I had to quit because I was on my own. So I did all of that. I applied to colleges on my own. I filled out all the applications. It was just me. Nobody did nothing. No one said I had to get up to go to school. I could have quit that day and never went back to school. Nobody would have said a word, So I just feel like for me, and that's why it's very difficult for me, and Chris would tell you because he follows me, I get into it with a lot of black people because I don't have excuses. I don't go for that. I don't use the victim mentality, the history of what we had, because I know, bro, I literally have been on my own, like probably from 15 on.
Yeah.
And my brother took care of me for 2 years, but what he said was, I ain't gonna tell you what to do. Just do what I say. You know what I mean? So, it was just, so you're on your own when you're doing that. You know what I mean? And, but I never, man, I never looked back and I never made excuses. And it actually helped me in Hollywood when I was getting all of those no's, you know what I mean? And having things go against me because I'm figuring like I got nothing to lose, I got nothing to lose. I hate when I hear people say, well, I shouldn't have been here, but you had all kind of family. You know what I mean? In my case, I shouldn't have been where I'm at because I had nobody pushing me. No one woke me up to go to school. I never told my teachers what happened. So nobody in school even knew that I was living by myself, feeding myself, 17. Like I always tell people this. This is why I always tell people, if you got children, think of your kids, right? Think of one of your kids and then think about what their reaction would have been if they come home and you and your wife or you and your lady are packing up the house and saying, here's $40, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Which one of y'all kids gonna lose it? So
right. Yeah, that's the story right
yeah.
there. Man, Desiree Lee Brockington says, hey, nice convo. Dannon continues to motivate and inspire. A lot of people don't know the full story. We getting a lot of it tonight, y'all. Let me ask you this, man.
Go ahead.
Your signature line. I don't want
no trouble.
I don't want no trouble. That's part of your brand, man. What made you put that in there like that? I
got that, and I'll be honest with you. I got that because of the late Robin Harris.
Okay.
And he goes, don't want no trouble. You know what I mean? And I kept saying that, when I heard this album in 89, I think it was 89, 88, 89 came out, I said, man, I was laughing. I was like, man, that's a line for you. And then I started thinking about all the stuff that I have been going through, you know what I mean, in my life. And I said, you know what? I don't want no trouble. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I added, I don't want no trouble. And then all my like Chris would tell you, my merchandise is I don't want no trouble with a mic. And that's where it came from. But I use it because at the end of the day, when it comes to comedy, you're telling a joke, whether it's the joke or the material, or you at the end, you're like, hey man, don't want no trouble. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it came from.
But you may have to heckle out an ass whooping. You're a Golden Gloves champion.
Yeah. So, well, no. So let me share a story with you guys. 1991, Columbus, Ohio. I'm doing a comedy night at one of the bars. You know what I mean? When you're starting up, you're doing a lot of the bar shows. So the great thing about me was I started in white clubs. And I say that's great because I used to be straight clean. No cursing, no nothing, because I started with these white boys. You know what I mean? And they were teaching me the ropes, like how to write, so I got to give it up to them. They showed me a lot, but I didn't have cable. This is 1991. I ain't had cable, and I didn't know nothing about Def Jam. I didn't know nothing about the Black explosion in comedy, I didn't know none of that. So anyway, I'm at this club one night. It's a true story, bro. And so this white boy and this girl come walking in, and they come down and they get a seat in the front row. So I'm new to the game. I'm like, hey man, I'm joking like, hey, what y'all doing late? Hey girl, what you doing with a guy like him? I'm trying to crack jokes or whatever. And this white boy goes, as loud as that, he goes, I don't believe they're letting niggas up in here.
Oh.
He said, I don't believe they're letting blacks. I don't believe they're letting niggas up in here. So I looked at him and I froze. And I said, hey, ladies and gentlemen, hey, thank you very much. That's my show. You know how the audience is, oh, man, no, you know. So I leave the stage. I go to this way. He's over there. And I go to the bar. And a bunch of white people came up to me, you know. And I don't want to say white, but they were white because it was a white club. Hey, man, this is not what we're about. We apologize for him. We don't know this dude. You know what I mean? All of that. I said, man, no problem, man. You know, it is what it is, like that. So the white people at the end of the bar, this is on God. I can't make this up. And he goes, loud as day. He walks up to the bar and says, I don't believe they're letting blacks. I don't believe they're letting niggas up in here. And I blacked out. And I walked up to him. I said, yo, why I gotta be a black? Why I gotta be a nigga? He said, you, and he couldn't get the next word out. And when I'm telling you, I hit this motherfucker with the picture perfect 1-2. All of this was believed. I will never. I will not lie. I would die here if I'm lying. So he's bleeding. He's back, and the girl goes, "What's your name? What's your name?" And I loaded up on her. I said, and the bouncer said, "Don't do it, man. Don't do it." And I snapped out of it, and I said, "Oh shit!" And then so I grabbed my shit, went to my car, and when I got to the car, so I'm about 50 feet, maybe 50 yards away from the front door. And one of the bouncers goes, hey, man, yo, come on, man, let's just talk to you. Let's talk. And I have learned a lesson. When you are out of the line of fire, nigga, you don't go back. You know what I mean?
Don't go back.
So I got in the car and I yelled back. I said, check it out. I said, it was a girl, it was a guy there, somebody knew me. I said, yo, tell the promoter, give me my money. Because it was like $40. I wanted my $40, right? So
$40 all the time. Keep coming up.
Hey, bro, in the 90s, $40 went a long way, brother.
No, he don't know about that.
So I drove across the street to wait for the dude and on Everything I Love. Within 5 minutes, it was about 5 to 6 police cars up there. Yeah. Like they was gonna get me. And so I called my uncle that night. I was all upset. Like, man, yo, what happened? Nothing, white boys did this, And my uncle said, cool and calm. He said, look, if you're gonna be doing comedy, you can't be beating up people. And I was like, he just said, I like, all right. So that was only next to one time that I got in a fight. The other time was out in LA at the Comedy Union. This brother was in there talking crazy, and this is a crazy story. So we had George Wallace going to perform. So this is LA, like this is 2000 something, whatever. So I'm prime. People know who I'm hosting the club, and George Wallace is the first comic we're bringing on. And this is a dude in the back, and he's just yelling, but he ain't yelling nothing. You know what I mean? Like, so I crack a couple of jokes on him and think he gonna stop. Bam. So I call security. They go talk to him. I said, yo, man, keep talking to me. You're gonna be up out of here. He kept doing it. So I said, man, yo, I got mad. I said, man, you fucking the show up now. Like that. That's why I told him I was on stage. So the dude got up. It was in the corner, so it was kind of dark. So he started walking, and I thought he was gonna walk like past the stage and walk out the club. Well, he walked past near the stage, and then he made a beeline to the stage. And put one foot. He put one foot on the chair, and he put the other foot on the stage. And you'd have thought I was Lawrence Taylor, man. I hit that motherfucker with a double uppercut. Bang! And his feet went flying, right? So I jump off a stage. I'm about to get him, and it was dudes in it. I didn't know the dudes, but they was just guests. And one dude said, "Nah, you good, dog? Right? This is a true story, man. I can't believe this shit." The dude said, "You good, man? Don't worry about it. I'm packing." That's what this nigga told me. And I took my hand and put it on his waist, and that nigga had a piece right there. I was like, these niggas is crazy up in here. So, but we got rid of him. But on some real shit, I'm mad that I did that because for 2 weeks I'm nervous now. You know what I mean? Because this dude can come back and pop me on stage, and I can't do shit about it. So I don't fight no more, man. I'm retired.
I mean, I just had that, because I actually do know, I've got heckled a couple times. I got heckled at that first Fridays where you performed that in Gary.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, well, let me say this. I'm gonna let you Gary dudes do whatever y'all want, because I ain't dealing with none of that Gary. I ain't meant for Gary.
Hey D,
I ain't gonna be on the news. What happened to the comedian? He went to
Hey.
Gary, never came back. You know,
Hey, D, it ain't that bad, brother.
I'm with Dannon on that one, Chris. I'm sorry, Steve. I'm with Dannon on that one, man. Forget
It
that.
ain't that bad. Hey, look, you from that, G. You know it ain't that bad.
Yeah, what's up?
Because I'm from there, don't mean I have to be of there. You know what I'm saying?
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Yeah, Dannon, let me ask you something else, bro.
Yeah.
We're going to go past that. Now, comedy has changed over the years, all right? From
Yeah.
the time that you started up until now. Do you think it's harder to be funny today, or the audience is just different?
I don't think it's never hard to be funny. I don't think it's never be hard to be funny. I think it's harder.
Everybody's sensitive, though. Everybody's so sensitive.
Well, it's like we say in Hollywood. When a dude make it, we say, oh, he changed. But he didn't change. The people changed around him. Right. And then they started feeling uncomfortable, you see? So with me, I did a show the other night at the Comedy Store, and like, this is the first time I'm telling somebody, it happened just past Monday. I'm going up there and I'm telling these jokes, and I'm talking about the World Cup. I'm talking about, I did a joke where I was talking about how one of my boys is really militant. He's like, yo, man, I ain't celebrating no 4th of July. That's the white man's holiday. You know what I mean? That, you know, black people don't need to be celebrating. He going in, right? So I said later on in the 4th of July, you know, he called me up, we talking, and I go, yo, what you doing? He go, man, I ain't doing much, man. I'm just, you know, at the house, you know, just chilling, man, really just chilling. He said, what you doing? I said, I'm enjoying this white man's holiday. I'm having some hot dogs and some hamburgers. And matter of fact, one of these white people just gave me a beer. So I was telling all these type of jokes, right? At the show, one of the guys that works with the ownership came up to me and said, I remember you. They told me in the back, you used to be part of Fat Tuesday. I go, yeah. They go, man, we need people like you. He said, I remember Paul Moon, like this older white dude, like that works with the ownership. And what it made me do, it made me go, people don't mind edgy comedy. People want to hear it. If you're going to confide to what you think the people don't want to hear because you're scared about the outside voices, then you're done. You see what I'm saying? It's like what you guys do. If you had started your podcast, someone said, well, man, I would do a podcast, man, but I wouldn't say I was from Gary, Indiana, because, you know, people don't know people. You know, you would start changing your whole perception on how you do shit. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's harder. I think the comedy is worse because these young people really ain't living through nothing. And because they didn't have to really live through nothing, they don't have to research nothing. We didn't have the internet. So all that truth came from us. These guys can look at some jokes and stuff and change it, and all of a sudden, because they can do a minute of a video, you know, they get 1 million followers, they making money, but then when it's time to carry a show, they can't do it. And I ain't mad at the paper they make it. Don't get it twisted. Make your cash, but it makes it harder, but it makes it easier because yes, you're going to get the quick lick, but when people see that you can't really carry it, that's when the cream, you know, rises to the top.
Yeah, and then with all that, you know, skits and skits. When you on that stage in front of somebody for 10, 15 minutes, and that's something different.
And that's what I want to get to next, okay? The skits and the acting and everything. So you got this new joint coming out, okay? That you're directing. You Barbershop Larry. Tell us about Barbershop Larry.
Man, let me tell you something, bro. When I tell you God be looking out for your boy, God be looking out for your boy. Because so the story is one of my partners, his name is Kenny Wack. Now, background of Kenny Wack. Kenny Wack used to be on the Martin Lawrence show. He was the karate man. Remember him? Karate dude?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my boy. So he now works with Earthquake. He helps produce Earthquake radio show. So Kenny did this movie and shot the movie, and he was like, yo, Dan, the premiere is this night. It was a Thursday night. So I go, he said, you coming through? I said, nigga, yeah, you know, I'm there, right? So the premiere started at 7. So I'm at the crib, lounging around, laying around. It's about 6:15, 6:30. And I'm saying to myself, I ain't gonna go. By the time I get ready, got to drive over there. I ain't gonna go. Plus, I don't feel like going. Then I said, Kenny gonna kill me if I don't go. And Kenny used to be a professional fighter too. So that would have been a hard battle for me to fight, deal with this motherfucker. So I said, I'm gonna go. So since it was in Encino, California, and I live in the Valley, it was only really like a 15-minute hop. You know what I'm saying? So I threw some gear on. I get to the premiere, and of course, they niggas, so they ain't on time anyway. So everybody outside, and they're, going ahead and, taking pictures. So I see Bentley Evans. Now, Bentley Evans, like I said, he was if you know about Bentley, he was a writer for the Martin Lawrence show, and then producer for Martin show, and then a producer and a writer, creator for the Jamie Foxx show.
Wasn't Bentley the one that they called Martin Almond?
Yeah, you almond. You so almondy. Yeah, that's Bentley. Yeah. So I see Bentley. Yo, what's up, Bent? I see Martin Lawrence's brother there. Like everybody there, it's probably about 100 some people. It's a nice little screening. So I walk over to the red carpet and I see Trent Combs. And Trent and Bentley are business partners with their Harvard Studios. So Trent goes, "What's up, Dan?" I said, "Yo, what's going on with Trent?" He said, "Yo, I see you doing your thing." I said, "Yeah, man, I'm out here. You know how we talk street. Yeah, man, I'm out here hustling, trying to get my grind on. You know how it is." And then he goes, "You know what, man? I may have something for you." And I go, "Nope. This is exactly what I did, bro. It's crazy." I go, "Nah." I said, "You told me that shit before." Just waved the ball, right? So he goes, "No." I said, "Nah, dog." So he said, "Look, man, do I have you know?" So I gave him my number. Of course, my number pops up in his phone, and then he calls my number, and his number pop up. So it's like, nah, we've been down this road before. He said, "No, I'm gonna call you tomorrow." So about 12:30 came. That was Thursday night. I gotta tell you the dates because this is how crazy it is. So Friday he calls me, but what happened was Friday it was about 12 o'clock and he hadn't called me yet. And then I'm getting anxious. Like, I wonder what they want because he never told me what it was. And then I go, "Nope, I ain't gonna call because if I call, I'm thirsty and I'm, And literally within 3 to 5 minutes, he called me and he said, "Yo, I'm thinking about doing something, man. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I'll call you on Saturday." So now we go from Thursday to Saturday. So Saturday he calls me. "Hey, what's going on?" He said, "Man, look, can you be at the studio tomorrow at 3? I go, "Yeah, I could be there." He said, "All right." So now I'm thinking maybe it's a podcast. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking that he's on everything. He never told me what it was. So I get to the studio. I'm a little late. I get there. And when I get there, I see Chaz Rogers. And I'm like, all right. And then I see Shantae Waynes. Yeah. And I go, "Is Shantae here? I know it's got to be something because she don't be fucking around with bullshit." You know what I mean? Like Shantae about a business. So they said, "Look, we're going to read this script." Right? So I read it. We're reading different characters because there's only 4 actors there. So he said, "Hey, man, let's go out to the studio." So we walk out to the studio. So I say, we read it. It's cool. Script is cool. And I put Trent aside. I go, "Trent." I said, "Man, what's going on?" He goes, "I came up with this TV show called Barbershop Larry." He said, "You're going to play Larry." That's how quick I got the show. Now, that don't happen in Hollywood, dog. That don't happen.
Hey, look, that don't happen unless you Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. And here's the funny thing about it. He told me that on Sunday. We were shooting on Monday.
Wow. Ready.
We wound up shooting 6 episodes. We shot 6 already. We got 4 more to shoot. And out of the 6, they allowed me to write 2 of them.
Yeah. Look, I want to play this clip real quick. This is a clip of Barbershop Larry. Y'all check this out. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Bye.
All new Barbershop Larry.
I got a meeting with this app kid.
An app?
Yeah. I mean, the app is for the barbershop.
What you gonna do with $1 billion, Larry?
Larry, the $1 billion bar.
You got a name for the app?
Yeah, I'm thinking about super freaky cuts.
What?
Hey, wake up! I always sleep every time I come in this barbershop.
Okay, you can't outfade a breathalyzer, brother.
See, that's because you and her can't fade.
All new Barbershop Larry.
Super freaky cuts, dog.
Yeah, I came up with that. I said that.
What was your?
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was gonna ask. What was your first acting gig that you did once you got to Cali?
Well, I did a play before. The first play. So I'll go from California because I did a play when I was a kid in Philly. You know what I mean? But my first acting gig out here in Cali, I did a play called The Soldier Story. And I did
From
it.
the actual movie?
Huh?
From the actual movie with
Yeah,
Robert Townsend?
yeah. Yep. My character, I played Wilkie. And and that was when I kind of felt like I could do something out here. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because so the Soldier Story, you know, obviously is made up of, you know, the military, the camps. So you had like Group A, Group B, different type of groups they had. And all of these dudes knew each other. I was kind of the new dude in town. So they all knew him. They was from most number was from Philly. They was all actors, you know, we was all young in the game. And so they already kind of had picked who they wanted as their crew or who was going to be playing certain characters, right? So we're rehearsing for 3 to 4 weeks with this brother named Dominic. He was a hell of a director too. And but the last 2 weeks, they said, okay, we're doing Dominic is going to, he had us rehearsal for like the first 4 to 5 weeks. But the last 2 weeks of rehearsal before the show went up, Chip Fields came in and took over the directing. Yeah. Right. So Chip Field is in the meeting. We're all in the studio, and she goes, okay, we're doing it. Then she goes, look, by the way, is there anyone here who has not been able to work with the first company? I was company C. They had A, B, and C. And I raised my hand. I said, I didn't get a chance to work with him. She said, okay, what's your character? I go, Wilkie. She goes, okay. And so we get the scene up. Bam. I bust the scene out.
Yeah.
On everything. She goes right there. She goes, nope. That's your role. You're in company A. She said, you got the best comedic timing I've ever seen on anyone. And that was when I knew. That's when I felt like, yeah, I could do something in it. That was my first acting gig. And then I did a couple of B movies as extras because I got in as an extra to get my card. And then my first speaking role ever, remember that movie called Butter, Never Too Big? Yeah. With Donnie Wahlberg and all of that? Y'all remember that movie? Yeah, I was in that movie. I was the ATM dude that was behind. I was the dude that was behind Donald Faison. I talk about, hurry up, man. Like, yo, man. That was me. That was my first acting role.
And the second thing I want to ask you real quick, the first time you got on stage to do comedy, was it a hit? Or was it like, oh, I got to go back to the drawing board and get funny? Because I knew you weren't going to quit.
No, well, we talked about when I started in Columbus. I'll tell you about what was my changing force in LA. So in 92, 93, okay, for about 6 or 7 years, J. Anthony Brown had the hottest club in the city. It was called Maverick's Flat. It was the hottest club. I mean, like, bro, he would get 250 black people in there, no AC, one way out. No, you know what I mean? And be killing it. And I used to go up there and beg Jay, hey, can I get on? Like, yeah, you know, hey, man, can you put me on? Hey, man, can I perform? Because I'm thinking now, I perform at the Comedy Act, and I'm doing my thing, and I'm thinking like, you know, whatever. So I'm still Midwest attitude. So I have a tiger jumpsuit on, short jumpsuit on with some white sandals and a Kango hat. You know, I'm Midwest all the way on this one, right? Y'all know how that is. You know, we can get away with that in the Midwest, you know? So I go on stage. So Jay finally said, I'm going to put you on stage this night. And every time he gets ready to call me on stage, if you don't know nothing about J. Anthony Brown, he'll say, okay, what's your name? Okay, cool. And then he'll go on and do material for like another 5 minutes, then go, okay, come to the stage. Hey, what's your name again? So Jay would do that. Like, so he finally brings me on stage, right? And I bomb. I eat the bullet. And J. Anthony Brown came behind me, and he did about a half an hour on me. And when he did it, he said something. It was funny to the audience, but it hurt me. He said, right at the end, he said, and ladies and gentlemen, if you ever see Dannon Green's name in lights, just keep passing by. And I said, damn. And I wanted people to tell you, I wanted to whip his ass, right? But I knew I can't do that one. You know, my uncle told me. And Jay got too many. It would have just been a bad look for me to get in that type of situation.
Wow.
So I drove home. I drove home that night. I'm hurt. I'm like, damn, man, like maybe this ain't for me, you know? And I go to the crib and I go, nah, we can't. Nah, we got to figure. Because I've always been a game planner. I said, what are we going to do? And I figured it out. What I did was, for about 4 to 5 months, I only went to certain open mics and I stayed at the Comedy Act and I worked on my comedy and worked on my comedy. Now, here's the crazy thing about it. I worked on it, waiting for about 6 months. Within that time, I book a play that's produced by Steve Harvey. Because his girl at the time, his wife, wanted to be an actor. He produced it. Steve Harvey put the money behind the play. I get the backup role. Guess who I'm understudy to? J. Anthony Brown.
Wow.
So we are rehearsal together every day. So the first day I'm looking at him, but Jay, if you know Jay's cracking jokes on your time. He's like, you wanted to beat my ass, didn't you? I bet you wanted to beat my ass. Like, well, me and Jay became cool. And then, so like, I'm studying under him for like 2 or 3 weeks. So and he's even cracking jokes like, you hope I get sick, don't you? You hope I get sick so you can play this role, don't you? Like, it's like, you know. So, but what happened, we built a bond. So he says to me, like, this plays up. And then there's one Saturday, he goes, look, man, why don't you come on by the club? I'll put you up. I said, nah. He said, man, come on. I'll put you up. I knew I could do it. Like, I said, nah, you ain't get me. He said, come on, bro. I go by the club. He gives me an intro as if I just won the Oscars, nigga. Ladies and gentlemen, come to the stage. Great comedian, a great actor. He's my understudy, blah, blah, blah. Gave me, man, I went up there. I had one of the best sets I could ever have. And from that time on, pew, it was on and cracking.
There you go, man. That's how it happens. You know, God works in
that's how it happened.
Way. But let me get you off of comedy for a second, man. Your documentary, The Executioners. It's a more serious story. What inspired you to get from in front of the camera and step behind the camera?
Well, the story's about, and unfortunately, my trainer died this year, the last one. But the story came about because I had went back to visit Philadelphia a couple of times in 2016 and then 17. And one of the dudes I used to fight with, this guy named Lydell Johnson, who was probably Floyd Mayweather before Floyd. This dude was a beast, right? So he goes, what's up? I said, man, yo, you know, I'm asking how everybody's doing. I go, hey, how's Frank doing? Is he still alive? And he goes, yeah, Frank is alive. And I said, oh man, you got a number for him? So he goes, yeah. So I come back to LA. That was in August. I don't use the number till about October. So I call Frank up and I go, Frank. And he goes, yeah. And I go, Frank, this is Dannon Green. He goes, Dannon Green. He goes, Dannon Green, Southpaw, Felton Street. Good fighter. Yeah, I remember you. I was 14 when I left, 15. He remembered me all these years. I didn't know that. And it almost made me cry. I was like, damn. So we got to talking for about 30 minutes, and then I hung up. And then I was just laying in bed one day, and I said, man, somebody got to tell this story. You know what I mean? So I went back, I said, Frank, hey, I want to tell a story about the Executioners. And see, this is what a lot of people don't know about the industry, especially now it's a little different, but especially 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. He said, I always felt there was a story there, but I didn't know how to get it out. I said, would you allow me to tell the story? And I said, yeah. And bro, I got in touch with all the fighters and, you know, researched it and went back to Philly 4 times for interviews, went to North Carolina, went to New York. I mean, I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch it, but you got to watch it. But Chris saw it. And so the story is based on these 2 men who started this gym in Philly in 1974, Marvin Tucci Gordon and Frank Taylor, to get the guys off the street for gang war. Because gang war was big back in Philly in the 70s. You know what I mean? I mean, it was bad. And they wound up starting this gym and creating one of the best amateur teams probably ever in the country or probably in the world. So we had a combined record at over a 10-year span of 639 wins and 84 losses. We had 6 guys invited to the Olympic trials, and we had 1 world champion, Gary Hinton. And So I tell the story about, it's a 2-part story, kind of like within one. You know, who these guys were, how they got into boxing, how they did. And then I tell the second part is why they didn't make it.
Okay.
And so it's heavy. And I'll just share one story with you, just so you know how heavy it is. So one of my boys that I box with, his name is Bob. Okay, have you ever heard of, so his name is Bob Nix, right? And we used to box together. He was 4 years older than me. So Bob got in trouble as a young kid, started having kids young, got in trouble, went to jail for 18 months. So that got him out the boxing game. And then he was like 9-1, 10-1 as a pro, and then got in trouble. So he wound up moving out of Philly to Charlotte, North Carolina. And he had 3 boys. And he said to the mom, he said, "Look, let me take my boys out of Philly. You know what I mean? Let me get these guys out." And she agreed to let them get out of Philly. Well, when they get to North Carolina, the 2 oldest boys, they still wildin'. You know, they 12, 13, 14, and get put in juvenile hall, right? They get in trouble. So Bob tells the story. He goes, he was determined not to lose his last son. That's what he said. You know what I mean? He's like, I can't lose him. So he got behind him. He wound up pushing him in football. The kid went from being a high school All-American, college All-American, to playing in the NFL and winning a Super Bowl ring.
Wow.
And you know who it is?
Who that?
Hakeem Nicks.
Oh, wow.
From the Giants.
Yeah.
So I used to fight with his dad. And that's just one of the heavy stories. And his dad tells about how boxing is, saved, how his boxing saved his life and probably a generation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So man. So you got to see it. It's on Tubi TV. It's called The Executioners.
Okay, we're gonna check that out. Make sure y'all check that out. And when is Barbershop Larry coming out?
So the premiere is this Sunday in LA.
Okay.
And the show airs July 20th. So we have the premiere this week, and then July 20th the show airs. It's on linear television. It's called blackvisiontelevision.net, but it's on linear TV, so it's free. You can watch it on your television if you don't have cable, or if you do got cable. And it's all around the country. So people watch it more than what people think. People watch linear TV, I'm surprised, more than what people think. And because cable is so damn high, you know what I mean? And all of these different apps. Yeah. So,
most
hey,
man.
Yeah.
I got 5 more questions for you because we gotta get out of here in a second. Okay, real quick.
No problem. I'm
Rapid
good.
fire questions. Rapid
You got
fire
it.
ones, all right? Philly or New York?
Philly, always.
What's the best comedy club in America?
For me, I would say I'll go to the Comedy Store.
Okay, I feel that. Okay, you're a comedian. Who makes you laugh?
2 guys, Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I got that. Okay.
And Earthquake. Those are my 3 top.
And
And
Earthquake.
DL makes me laugh, but that's my frat brother, so I that's a cheating one. So yeah.
What about Jay Anthony?
Jay-Z Brown, oh man, that's the OG. That's my man. Jay, but in terms of me watching comedy, like I don't watch comedy. I purposely don't watch comedy because I don't want to get anything from anyone. But if I do, or from online, the only people I ever watch is Bill Burr and Dave Chappelle.
There you go. Clean comedy or no limits?
I believe that comedy is all clean. It depends on what adjectives you use. Now, if you have dirty material, that's different. But clean, everything can be clean. My material, I can say it in church or I can say it in prison because I just add the adjectives. And that's the difference.
And see, that's a smart man right there. That's an educated man because he knows that.
You got to know that. You got to be able to do it.
I got one more. All right. You just again be honest. If they
you got a
movie.
Oh wait, hold on. You ain't got to never ask me to be honest. I'm always gonna keep it 100. I'm keep it a buck.
That too, man. I can see that. Okay.
Go ahead.
I'll take that back. My bad. All right, but
hey, you from Gary, Indiana? I don't mess with y'all.
How about all that?
I don't mess with your Gary dudes.
I don't box, but but I got a mouth on me so we can hang out, okay? In case somebody come and get me, man. You got my back.
I would love to. I would love to, man. Go ahead.
You got my back. Last one, if they made a movie about your life, who would play you?
Right now? Darnell Rollins. Darnell Rollins.
Yes.
Because everybody keeps saying we look alike.
Y'all do.
I was thinking him or Arnez J.
No.
Not Arnez. Nah.
With that,
and I know Arnez. But Darnell Rollins all day.
Yeah,
Darnell Rollins.
I can see that.
He's my man too. He's good people. He's good people.
Yeah, dude, this has been fun, man. I love hearing stories. I love conversations where we ain't got to do all the talking. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, hey, you ain't gonna worry about. Hey, that was my problem growing up.
No,
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you guys having me, man, because I think the thing about it is I've been out here for a minute. And people know my face. I don't have the big name yet, but they just look at me and go, oh, yeah, him. And then, I have a list sometimes. So when my list pops up, they go, oh, yeah, that guy. But so my voice has always been different. But I always feel like, I do believe for people that have seen me, I'm one of the top comics in the country. I just haven't been given that opportunity. And now things are starting to happen. And I think it's going to be some stuff. I'm going to be somebody to deal with in a real short minute.
You're somebody to deal with now, okay? I mean, you've been around for a minute. And I'm glad you're finally getting what you deserve, man. Okay, and thank you for coming to our show, hanging out. Appreciate Katina for bringing you through. Man, is there anything else you want to say? If you can go back, let me ask you: if you can go back and give the younger Dannon Green a piece of advice before you hit the stage, before you hit television, what would it be?
Honestly, not to care about what people think about me. I probably lost 10 years. Trying to be the nice dude. And I'm not a bad dude by no means, but what I'm saying is, I played my position around people that probably didn't want me to get there, and I should have just been more vocal, you know what I'm saying? Because I probably could have been, larger 10 years ago. But I think at the same time, too, God has a game plan, so you gotta play the role. You play the hand that you dealt.
Yeah, and I'm telling somebody, I was on an interview, someone interviewed me a couple of weeks ago, and they asked me the same question, and I told them I'm not nice, but I'm consistent. All right, So, bro, you are that guy, man. All right, and we definitely gonna keep following you. Everybody, go check out Barbershop Larry. Make sure you and go to Tubi and check out the other one.
The Executioners.
Make sure y'all get on there.
It's a red X. When you go to the Executioners, you're gonna see a red X. That's my movie.
We support you, brother. Anything you need from us, let us know. All right, Steve.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah. Thank you guys for having me.
For sure.
Okay. One thing for everything you said, I just want to say this: how you said, God is so God. That's what it is.
Yeah, bro.
I was looking because I got through half of it. So my thing is, hey, shout out to that man that told you, hey, you ain't gonna be no architect. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him.
No, yeah. Also,
architect. You are architect.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard. I don't know how you heard that story.
Architect of your own people.
Because we did.
Yeah, real quick. I don't know how you heard that. I don't know how you heard that story. But let me tell you, I don't know how you heard that story. But that's what happened to me when I was about 13. I was on Tustin Playground. Playing basketball, and this OG said to me, he said, man, what you want to be when you grow up? I said, oh, cause I love drawing. I love art. I said, oh, I want to be an architect. And he said, nigga, ain't no goddamn black architects. And my dream was, that's exactly what he said. And my dream of being an architect was shot down on the basketball court. I said, next.
That just let you know, I know who you are, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
I appreciate that. Great stories, man. We had a good time here, man. And look, anytime you want to come back, bro, all you gotta do is tap.
I want to come back. I will, man. Big shout out to my city, Philadelphia, and the Hilltop Hustlers, and also rude to all the big bros, to the Qs, Omegas. Rude.
Let's go, rude. All right, man.
Appreciate y'all.
Tomorrow we got CEO Rachel. She'll be on tomorrow with those CEO nuggets. But right now, man, we got a masterclass in storytelling from Mr. Dannon Green. All right, this is Dope Living TV Live, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow. All right.
Thank you guys, man. Appreciate the love. Thank you, brothers.
Whether in the house or outside, you know that we gon' do it. Make our own decision, turn around and still get through it. When you say the name, you know it's us and what we doing. So turn it on and let the bass get booming. Yeah. Dope Living TV. Dope Living TV. Dope Living TV. Dope Living TV. Yeah. We got it all. Come and see. Yeah. Dope Living TV.